And so it's really looking at what are my gifts and what are my contributions that I can be making to, creating a more beautiful place for the folks that come after me.
Yeah. That's amazing. So tell me, how does the 4Rs Youth Movement work?
The work that we do is about convening Indigenous young people, sometimes non-Indigenous young people, to be able to support them with what they need to be able to do community work. So whether that's language recognition or land-based work or, celebrating their queerness, it's about us being able to uplift them and support them in what they want to do. And for us to really see that as an opportunity to build capacity of young people to be in community in ways that also challenges status quo community organizing. Because something that we've witnessed within and among young people is burnout, challenges related to mental health, the compounding grief that happens in our communities, not only because of systemic violence, but also just because of folks passing in our families and within our communities. How do we come together to actually do community work in a way that still creates space for joy? And also challenges us not to recreate some of the patterns in our work that actually come from colonization, which I think that we try to pay attention and work to notice where those things show up for us and in how we show up for our communities.
Can you give me an example of the kind of project that the 4Rs Movement might support or has supported?
Yeah, definitely. I'll just share a story recently because I just came back from Shishigwaning First Nation on Manitoulin Island. The program that we work with is called the National Learning Community. And these young people are a part of this community which involves Indigenous young people from all over the place. And for them, what they wanted to do this year was to bring people in community together outside of times of grief. So what they noticed in their communities was that, we only come together to eat when someone has passed on or when something's happening that's like a tragedy or a crisis. And what they wanted to do was to reintroduce the seasonal rhythms of gathering within their community that were about celebration and about teachings and about acknowledging the time and the cycle that we're in within the year. And so this group has been hosting feasts during the solstices and equinoxes. So I just was able to come and help out in the kitchen for the team that we're working with from the Land First Youth Initiative. And that's what they wanted to do was bring folks together to eat good food, and while doing that, start to kind of also build relationships with what's available and the abundance that exists in the lands that they're on and are from. Another really great example is we worked with some Two-Spirit youth in Winnipeg a couple years back who wanted to just celebrate the Two-Spirit and queer community in Winnipeg, and it was so simple but also deep to think about how we don't take time to celebrate, and so that's really what they wanted to do as a gift back to that community, was to just fill the room with laughter and dance and movement, music and beauty and all these things that represent queer culture. To me, I think it's really interesting to sort of think about what does decolonization look like, or what does reconciliation look like, or what does healing look like to Indigenous young people, is that it's all these things.
What about challenges? What is the most common challenge that you have seen young adults struggle with today?
I was talking about being an auntie in training, right? And so I'm no longer what would be considered a youth, and so I see myself as a big sister or a big sibling or something like that. There is a growing and a bigger awareness for some Indigenous young peoples of just how violent systems are in all sorts of many ways that continue to reinforce harm to ourselves and our communities. And sometimes when you start to notice that, you can't unsee it. And so this awareness and this overstimulation of the violence and the trauma is a heavy burden to carry. And it's not to suggest that burden hasn't been carried by other generations, but that there's something, I think, different in the amount of information, communication that exists within like digital spaces with Indigenous young people that it can be really overwhelming. And to me, I think that does really contribute to burnout. I think that coming out of the pandemic, I'm seeing with